Hi, Sag. My name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your May 2016 forecast for the month. Can't believe it's May, halfway through the year. Crazy. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for listening to this forecast and for your support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. Let's start the month with some transits. Actually, let me go over an aspect that's occurring first. In this month, we are experiencing a grand Earth trine. And it's all of the month, this overlaying energy is existing in between Jupiter, stationed in Virgo, and Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and Mercury, that is in Taurus. So this work energy, the second house of earnings, the sixth house of daily routine, and the 10th house of career is where this expansion of Jupiter, because he's the most benevolent, he's the largest expansive planet we have, so his influence is extremely strong. And as well as Pluto with his intensity. However, the expansion of this trine is affecting the earnings and the promotion of your life and the career. So that theme is existing on top of all of this other transit energy that's occurring. Let's start the transits. On the 6th of May, we have our new moon, and this is at 16 degrees of Taurus in the 6th house of routine, of health, of daily work, of the hours of your day. For Sag, what a great time on the 6th of May to start a new diet or health regimen, or to get your personal trainers in order. The 6th house of health needs to be tended to. A new diet, a new job, a new method or route to work. It could be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be drastic changes, but there's a newness with the new moon on the 6th in this 6th house. So it could apply to all of you Sagittarians differently. On the 9th of May, Jupiter goes direct, still in Virgo, direct at 13 degrees, and expanding this career sector. He's there through September 10th, and then he transits into Libra for a year on September 11th. So having Jupiter direct works. He doesn't really have a negative effect at all when retrograde, but I love him direct because he can do what he does best. Expand, bring optimism, bring faith. The goal is elevation. The goal is expansion of consciousness, awareness, the expanding of the subconscious mind. The goal is actually to get so still and quiet internally that the external does not affect you. And that's so interesting to say. I don't have any of these words prepared prior to the forecast. This is very off the top of my head. But as a medium, as a clairvoyant, as someone who's been able to be a conduit of information between this plane and another plane my whole life, I'm hearing, I hear very specific messages for each sign. And now I can't even remember what I just heard, but they'll tell me again. Oh, it's trippy out here in LA when you hear things. Okay, so for Sagittarian, the goal is to get so quiet that the external does not affect you. Thank you. That message that I just relayed to you, Sag, made sense to me as a personal message, in that the external noises in videos and comments of negative tones and opinions and complaints and just a lot of negative, energy is something that I'm no longer giving energy to. And it's very hard to do, but that's the goal. Don't let anything external affect you. In fact, if you're really disturbed by anything outside of yourself, you're not in a state of awareness. It's almost as if you're easily distracted. Car alarms and different noises. You need to just tune it out, is the message I'm getting. Tune everything out and get real silent, get real quiet. And I think it's a blessing that I just learned something to my own self personally through that message. Okay. So moving on. On the 20th of May, our sun enters Gemini, and this is your polar opposite sign, Sag. This is the seventh house of marriage and the seventh house of business partnerships, the seventh house of commitment and monogamy. And with the sun there, this is beautiful for those of you who are married. I think your relationship has a positive energy when the life force, the sun, is there through the 20th of June. And consecutively on the 21st, we have our full moon in your sign, 1 degree of Sagittarian. This is your full Sagittarius. This is your full moon in the first house, bringing an end to something. Maybe an end to a way of seeing things, an end to something that you're doing to the physical self. First house of the body. There's an awareness here with the full moon, so something needs to be seen in the first house, and maybe you're just giving up something. I know the 12th house is the house of releasing addictions. However, with the full moon in the first, the body, you could be giving something up that is no longer working for the physical self, for the body. And on the 22nd, Mercury finally goes direct in Taurus, in that earth sign energy at 14 degrees, in the 6th house, where the new moon had occurred on the 6th. So there is energy for health routine, the reviewing and analysis that you've done in the retrograde can now be applied somehow in the 6th house of work and routine for you, Sag. On the 24th, Venus is joining the sun in Gemini. I love the sun and Venus conjunct. And this is in the 7th house through the 17th of June. So for those of you looking for soulmate energy, giddy up, because Venus is love and attraction. She is the goddess Aphrodite conjunct the sun, the life force, Apollo. So Apollo and Aphrodite are hanging out together in your 7th house of marriage. Doesn't get better than that. Well, it does get better, but that's a spectacular conjunction, and I feel like Sagittarians could be linked up with the right people. And if you are already married, this is a very harmonious, balanced energy with Venus in this marriage sector. On the 27th, Mars retrogrades deeper out of your sign into Scorpio. So starting the month, Mars is retrograde in your first house. There's not a lot of energy for Sagittarians. You are fire. You're ruled by Jupiter, but you are a fire sign, and Mars is fire and energy. So you might be running at a little slower pace for Sag. You're a quick mover. And you're mutable. You go with the flow. So you might find that your stamina, which is Mars, is not up to where it should be. But he retrogrades deeper into the 12th house. So talk about all of this house of subconscious mind. I might get a lot of psychic or spiritual cards for you that represent the 12th house, like maybe the High Priestess or the Queen of Cups, the Moon. Let's see what happens for Sag. I'm shuffling your cards. I've been shuffling the whole reading. Here are your cards, Sag, for May 2016. The 9 of Swords, facing your fears. Your number is 9 as well, Sag, because you're the 9th sign on the solar wheel. Facing your fears. Cutting off a few things that are unnecessary as well. Oh yeah, cutting off a few things that are unnecessary. That's exactly what this card means as well. What no longer serves you. The Knight of Swords is removing the head off that dragon. Ooh, Game of Thrones starts tonight. Okay, that's crazy. That's not your message, but that's my message because I am watching that tonight. Okay, Knight of Swords. What doesn't work out for you anymore is being removed. These are two very similar energies. See how both of those swords are raised and they're about to take something out? You just might be cutting something off in this 12th house of psychic ability or the house of quiet or rest. Let's see what else comes up. The Hermit. He's very quiet. This is the sign of Virgo, naturally governing the 6th house of health and routine on the wheel. Keeping quiet, but keeping the light on. Oh, you see that Ouroboros? Keeping the light on. What is never ending? Oh, okay, some Sagittarians have connections with people, maybe the 7th house of partnership or marriage or relationship. You're always keeping the light on for an idea or the hopes of someone or something. And maybe you're getting quiet in the retrograde. Let's see what else comes up. The 9 of Wands, sacrifice. Sacrifice, overcome with passion. Jeez. Okay, so although Mars is retrograde, there's not a lot of energy for passion. I think if anyone's going to pull some extra passion out of a hat, it's going to be a Sagittarius or a Leo or an Aries. But you might be overcome with something quietly. Quietly. Maybe you're getting out of something here, Sagittarius. Maybe it is a relationship, or maybe it's just getting away from some people quietly because you're interested in going after something else. You're keeping the light on or keeping hope for something that's a private passion, I think. Private passion. This could be an idea. This could be an actual love interest. It's going to apply very differently. But you're remaining very quiet through the Mercury retrograde, that's for sure, with that Hermit card. So through the 22nd of May, when Mercury is in his review process, maybe you're analyzing someone from before. Could be. With so much of that, what I want to say is this release, this house of endings, the 12th house, where you have this feeling that you have to be quiet, that you're keeping things to yourself, is coming up so strongly. Maybe that applies to some of you, where you're feeling like with all of these retrogrades, you're not outward, you're keeping it inside somewhat still. So wait for Mercury to go direct before expressing it, maybe, or maybe you're waiting on Mars to go direct on the 30th of June before taking action on something. I hope this was helpful, Sag. Remember to cut off what's not serving you with those 9 of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Very strong message there. Something isn't needed. And having this full moon in the 1st, you've completed something out of that 12th house last month. So you're making room for new energy. I hope this was helpful. And thanks for joining me on this windy day. Have a sweet day. And remember, the sky is limitless. So reach for the stars.